There's a common trope in the online business space that you don't need more information, you need to take more action. Well, I'm here to tell you that you don't need more information and you don't need to take more action to get your business to where you truly want it to go. And when I talk about action, what I mean is doing things in order to achieve an external result. I need to get more clients. I need to get more followers. I need to make more money. I need to have more status. You do not need more of that in order to get to the goals you have for your business, and I'll tell you why in a second. The reason for this, the reason I talked to you about this is because for a while I was running an agency between January 2023 and May 2025. It was doing really well. We made about 300K every year that we were around. And for one portion, I was doing 22K American a month for 9 straight months. And every time I got close to hitting 30K in a month, for whatever reason, I didn't get there. I got really, really close. I had a bunch of leads come through, a bunch of people who wanted to work with me, and then other clients would fall off. Or I'd have clients get really great results, leads would come through, and then the leads wouldn't get over the line for whatever reason. I got so close to that coveted 30K American a month point that I wanted to get to for so long, and I just didn't. I came up close every single time, and I kind of hovered around 22K. The highest I think I got was 23, 24K, and there was always that gap of 6 to 8K American that I just could never make up for whatever reason. And then my life started falling apart. I moved across Canada from Toronto to Vancouver. I realized that I was stressed out and anxious all the time. Relationship ended, and I went to the hospital. I started meditating and journaling. And when I got to Vancouver, I committed to taking care of myself. And for a little bit, income started going like this. But then after a while, it started to come back up. And I started taking care of myself and making money, even though I wasn't sending cold outreach as much as I knew I could have, even though I wasn't prospecting as much as I knew I could have, and even though I wasn't going balls to the wall with content as much as I knew I could have. And so the thing that you need to focus on rather than information or action is clarity. Caleb Ralston has this great 4-step process, or this 4-question process for understanding how to build your personal brand. And I love it. I ask all my clients that I think is very, very effective. Number 1 is, what is the end goal you're trying to get here? What is the outcome that you want from building a personal brand? The second question is, what do you need to be known for in order to achieve the outcome? The third question is, what do you need to do in order to be known for the thing in order to achieve the outcome? Fourth is, what do you need to learn in order to do the stuff in order to be known for the thing in order to get the outcome? And I love asking it because it helps you get really clear. It helps you get clarity. It helps you understand exactly what you want and then reverse engineer a simple, actionable plan in order to get there. With your business, what you need to ask is not how much money do I want to make, is not how many clients do I need to get, is not how much I should be charging, is not how big do I want my business to be. Instead, it needs to be, what kind of lifestyle do I want? What kind of life do I want to live? No questions asked, no barriers, no restrictions, nothing. How do I want a day in my life to look like? I'll wake up. Am I working right away? Am I working at home? Am I working in an office? Am I working with a big team? What does that look like? And then how much money do I want to be making? Okay, cool. With this lifestyle and with this desired financial goal, what's something that really means something to me? Don't just say a number like, I want $10 trillion, because then I'll never have to worry about money ever again. Ha ha ha. What's a number that means something to you based on the lifestyle you said you want? If you're like, yeah, I want to comfortably support my family in this city. Let's say you live in Vancouver. I used to live there. Let's say you want to live in Vancouver, which is not as cheap of a city. The costs are not as low. I want to support my family. I want to have 5 kids. Okay, cool. What number would you need to make, especially with taxes, where you support this family, live this lifestyle, and you have the results you want? Okay, cool. The number now means something to you. If there's no actual meaning or relationship or connection to the goals you have, the odds of you actually going out and getting them is really low because there's no connection there. There's no emotion tying you to the thing you say you want. I used to say I want to make 100K a month just because it was a nice sounding number. And it just didn't sound very tangible to me. I had a very smart guy tell me that I should shoot for a lower number, a bit more specific of a number, because it would still allow me to get the things I want. Now, depending on where you live and depending on what your situation is, the numbers are going to change, but figure out, what is the lifestyle I want? What do I absolutely want my life to look like? How do I want to provide for my kids? Do I want to go on trips with my family? Do I want to be able to pass down generational wealth? Okay, cool. Now, the business that I make needs to make however much to hit this goal that I have. Okay, cool. And do I want to be working with less clients? Do I want to be working with more clients? Do I want to build a big team? Do I want to be a solopreneur? Now you're asking questions that make it easy for you to determine what is worth doing and what is not worth doing. There's this great book by Seth Godin called The Dip, where he talks about the greatest performers in the world are not the ones who never quit. They're not the ones who add more. They're the ones who know when to quit. They're the ones who know which games are not worth playing anymore, and they stop playing them immediately. He talks about every game has a dip. So it has a moment where things start getting difficult and they start getting slow and grimy, and you start to question if it's worth doing anymore. If the light at the end of the tunnel, the end result, is worth the dip that you go through, keep going. If it's not, quit immediately. So for example, if I was, trying to grind to be a CEO of a Fortune 500 company, which I don't want to do, it's not worth staying there. Even if I'm like, it's tough, and I'm just, I feel worn down, I feel beat up, but I know I got to stay in the game and keep it moving in order to get the result of being the CEO of this Fortune 500 company. But I don't actually even want that. Then quit. It's the same thing with your business. If you're working with a bunch of clients that you don't like, or you're posting a bunch of content that you don't like because you feel like you have to do it in order to keep up this money-making machine that you've created, in order to keep up your lifestyle, stop doing it. Instead, get clear on what you want to be doing instead and work on building that path. That's way more sustainable. You'll be able to stay in the game much longer, and it'll be worth your time because it means something to you. A lot of people get in the habit of building something that's not even theirs, building something that doesn't make sense for them because they thought it was the symbol of success. They thought it was something that would give them significance or meaning. There was, when I ran my agency back in the day, 2023 to 2025, I did it because I didn't want to move back to Winnipeg. I grew up in Winnipeg. I moved out in 2021. I lived in Toronto for 3 years, and I got fired from an agency after a year of living in Toronto. Technically, I got fired twice when I was living in Toronto, but I got fired again. So I got fired in July of 2021, and then I got fired in January 2022, or 2023, sorry. So 2 years after. A half a year in, and then 2 years after I moved to Toronto. And so for the last year, me living in Toronto, I didn't want to go back to Winnipeg. So I thought, okay, I need to sit down, I need to grind, I need to hustle, and I need to work on this so that I don't move back to my parents. So I don't even move back to the same city as my parents because I love Toronto and I wanted to stay there. However, when I got to the point where I realized going back to Winnipeg just wasn't an option for me, no matter how much money I had or how bad things got, then I slowly realized I didn't want to do my agency anymore. I didn't really love agency work. I loved coaching. I loved consulting. And so I gave myself permission to switch and to go into a path that I actually really wanted to go down. It wasn't easy. It wasn't the most seamless. However, it's something that actually meant something to me. So I did it because it was important based on the end goals that I asked myself. What kind of lifestyle do I want? What kind of work do I want to be doing for the rest of my life? And what do I want to set my family up for in the future? Okay, cool. Agency work just doesn't light my fire anymore. It's time to let it go. So to challenge the common notion of the online business space where you don't need more information, you need to take more action. Action can be very helpful, but if it's not from a place of clarity, if it's not grounded, if it's not embodied, it's not actually worth your time. And it's better to be moving slowly in the right direction than it is to be sprinting in the wrong direction. But anyways, that's today's video. If you want my help building content and a personal brand that allows you to achieve the business goals that you have for yourself, go in the description down below. There's a link to join Coherent Creators. It's an awesome community. We get our clients great results. It's a great time. I'll see you there. And if not, there's another video popping up on the screen somewhere that if you want to just dive into and check out more free sauce on how you can find clients with your personal brand, it'll be on the screen. So I'll see you there, or I'll talk to you about joining Coherent Creators. Peace.